Hey guys, it's Milka. Welcome back to my channel, NutAeum. It has been a couple of weeks. I am grateful for those of you who are here. For those of you who are waiting for that love reading, it is coming out next week. Okay, so there will be another love reading next week. I know it's been a while since I've done one of those, so that's exciting. That's fun. I know a lot of you guys have been requesting that, so it's coming next week. And I know this healing focus video is like a week late, but alas, life happens and we move on. So it's here now. All right, you guys, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the way the healing focus videos work, basically, there are 4 cards to choose from. The timestamps are in the description box below. You can have more than one group, and we're going to be seeing what you're leaving behind in the month of April, as well as and we're going to be doing a vibe check too, right, to see where you're at. So we're going to be seeing where you're currently at, what you have the opportunity to really leave behind in the month of April and the first couple of weeks of May, and then what your material world focus is in the month of May, as well as what Divine would like you to focus on healing in the month of May, for those of you that are open for that, or open to that. And I will show you your card selections, but first I did want to let you guys know that I do offer private personal readings and custom crystal bracelets, which if you're interested in any of those, the crystal bracelets, they are attuned with Reiki, light language, and a couple of other things specifically custom to your energy. And they're made custom for each individual. So it's not like I mass produce a certain style, unless of course a style is requested. There are a couple of examples of what the bracelets could look like on my website. For those of you, again, who are interested, and it can be for either sorry guys, I will say I'm functioning, okay? I'm functioning today, but I'm a little at a loss. Like, words are a little hard at the moment, so we'll see how a whole reading will go. But the bracelets are, they help to tune your energy to things that you would like to attract more of, as well as to help balance certain chakras or energy centers that maybe you feel you need more help balancing, or to attract it. It can be multiple different reasons, and we can also mix in multiple reasons in one. I also I'm gonna be posting an affirmation song on this channel too. I have 2 affirmation songs on YouTube at the moment, and they're on my old channel, on my original channel. So if you guys are interested in that, I do have a playlist on this channel, including those 2 affirmation songs, but I will be posting an affirmation song on this channel, hopefully within this within May. So that's something to look forward to for those of you who are interested. And I do also offer that as a service, where I can make a custom affirmation song for you based off of the things that you would like more focus on and all this stuff. But needless to say, that was my little self-plug. So if you guys are interested in any of those services, or if you have any questions, you can reach out to me either through my email or through the contacts page on my website, which are all in the description box below. But yes, let's get into the group selections. For group number 1, we have Pisces with Elude. Group number 2, we have, I'm probably not going to say it right, but is it like Ophiuchus with Heal? Group number 3 is Scutum with Safety. And group number 4 is Vela with Power. You guys can have multiple messages and multiple groups, so whatever you feel drawn to or called to, and if the energy vibe check works, go for it, okay? Or maybe, I don't know, just whatever calls to your imagination. So I'm going to give you guys a moment to choose. Hey, group one. So this is your group. If you chose the Pisces Elude card, I just finished shuffling your cards. I'm going to ring the singing bowl for you. Set your card to the side and let's get right into your reading. So the top section is going to be your energy check, and below that is going to be what you have the opportunity to leave behind in the month of April and the first couple of weeks of May, okay? We have the Seven of Pentacles, oh, the Queen of Swords, the Ten of Cups, the Empress, the Two of Swords. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I guess let me lay them out first. The Ten of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, and the Six of Cups. We'll get into the rest of the cards after we finish with this section. So I feel like you guys need a lot of rest. The reason I say that is because midway through the shuffling for you guys, I literally got so sleepy. I thought I was gonna fall asleep on the spot. Like even right now, my eyes are so heavy. So I feel like you guys need to be resting. You guys are complaining about resting. Maybe you're saying, I'm sleeping too much. I don't have time to sleep. I'm wasting my time sleeping. What's wrong with me? All of this stuff. But it's like, you guys need to sleep. You just need to sleep. Honor the desires of your body. Okay, I know people hibernate in winter and like wake up in spring. Well, also, I guess it depends on where you are in the world, right? Because it could be spring, but if you're below the equator, it could be fall. So regardless, it's not exactly hibernation season. But honor yourself and what your body is trying to tell you. I feel like you guys are being super analytical and super, whoa, that was weird. I was almost going to say super creepy, but that's not what I wanted to say. Not super creepy, but I feel like there is a little bit of a harshness. You guys are kind of demanding something of yourselves to be able to have this outcome, right? To be able to feel like fruitful again, because maybe you were feeling like you were thriving last year around this time, and things are just magically manifesting and happening for you. But this time around, it's like things are taking their time. You want to sleep all the time, and you're like, come on, I know I can do better. I know I can create more for myself. Ooh, a fly? What are you doing here? Sorry. Get away. Sorry, guys. But yeah, even the fact that there's a fly, right? It's like these thoughts, these little analytical thoughts that are a little bit too critical, right? Because they're putting so much expectation on you from you that it's not giving you a break. So I feel like these thoughts are they're kind of bothering you. Well, obviously they're bothering you, right? I would imagine. But I feel like there's a lot of little things that maybe are nitpicky, like you're being nitpicky about little things in your life right now because you're frustrated. Possibly about progress and like where, yeah, this rest and sleep kind of rejuvenation thing. But you see, sometimes when you wave a fly away, they come right back. I waved this one away and it just flew away and it kept going. So I feel like because it was that simple, for you guys, it's a simple solution too. It's just, I don't think you because you guys have done work on yourself. So if you're thinking something a little obsessively, you can kind of tell yourself, hey, that's enough. And like distract yourself a little and get over it, you know? Whereas before it would become like obsessive and like you couldn't take the image out of your mind. So I feel like they're just telling you like you are powerful, you are capable, and you should feel okay with resting. because you didn't lose all of this greatness that you had last year at this time. It's just you need more rejuvenation. That's just how it is, okay? It could be a sensitive time for you in your life. So no need for judgment there. No need to be like, oh, but I was great at losing weight then. I was beautiful then. I was this then. I was manifesting left and right. Money was coming in like effortlessly. It's still going to keep coming. You worrying about it or you being critical about it is you giving attention to the fact that it's not there, that the result that you want is not there yet. Okay, so instead of giving your attention there, just kind of let it flow and give yourself, follow your guided, like your body's guidance, okay? All right, now what you guys have the opportunity to leave behind in the month of April and the first couple of weeks of May. It's definitely going to be the first couple of weeks of May, I'm going to be honest with you. This is something that's going to go beyond April. Well, we are already beyond April, but yes. And that is, give me 1 second. It is that mindset. It is that mindset, okay? That pressure, that duality, the comparison. Because the comparison is really what's hurting you the most right now. You could just be taking this time to heal and rejuvenate, but because you keep referencing another time in your life or other people, even maybe for some of you, or like your 5-year plan, and you're like, I'm not in alignment with the steps for my 5-year plan, you know? It's like, well, let go and let God. Have the idea, a rough idea of what it is that you want. Try your way, and if it doesn't work out, then just surrender, you know? So I feel like you guys you gotta surrender, and that's okay. Things are going to work out. You just have to leave behind this whole indecisiveness between like mindsets, right? I do also feel like for some of you guys, there could be a bit of frustration around family. Maybe you're not feeling heard. I feel like for some of you guys, you're not feeling heard. You're not, yeah, that's just all I keep hearing. And for the few of you guys that are experiencing this, just know, like, there's only so much that it's like looking at it. For example, this 5 of Cups, right? This is like the person not feeling heard, and they're looking at their family who's not listening to them, and they're looking at like this spilled water, and they're sad over it. But behind them, there are these 2 cups that are like, yes, there's less of us, but we support you, we'll listen to you. And again, it's talking about that mindset, right? What are you focusing on? But with the 6 of Swords, it's saying that you guys are moving forward, even if it is a little slowly, even if you resist a little bit and it takes a little longer for your mindset to shift, you're still moving forward in this area, okay? So you don't have much to worry about. All right, let's get into the next little section of cards. Okay, I may have to reference the guide for these cards because I always mix up the names because they don't, this is like the pasta tarot or something. So all of the suits are pasta names and like, yeah. So we have Ace of Lunga. So this is probably the Ace of, I was going to say Ace of Swords, but I'm assuming it's the Ace of Wands. We'll see. It is the Ace of Swords, I think. Then we have the 8 of Corta, which is the 8 of Wands. The Wheel of Fortune. Oh, the Wheel of Fortune again. The Knight of Swords. And the 3 of Wands. Okay, so this is your material world focus for the month of May. The bottom is going to be what Divine wants you to focus on healing in the month of May. We have the Coyote Totem. Show humor. Laughter is your medicine. The Sacred Ceremonies. I remind your soul of the sacredness of the world. Your body's power. Your body is yours. Celebrate your temple. The 5th house. waxing gibbous moon, Libra, and then I guess these are the final message cards, which I'll just lay them out since there's so, you know, little of them. We've got the 5th house again. Ooh, the beginning of winter, and Neptune, which is funny because you guys chose Pisces. You have the 5th house twice, and the beginning of winter. Okay. Give me 1 sec, you guys, just to kind of take it all in and take a sip of water. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be the Ace of Swords, but give me 1 sec just to confirm that. Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. So your material world focus in the month of May, there seems to be a lot of indication of communication. So talking, and I don't know why I just heard the word international. So I think it's because I feel like you guys are going to be communicating with friends. Maybe some of you guys are planning a trip if you're not already going on a trip in May. I feel like you guys are going to be, there's a lot of communication. So I don't know if some of you guys are going to be communicating with people online. Maybe you have like some kind of a community that you're a part of online, but it seems like there's a presence of internet or digital communication. Sure, there's in-person stuff, but I'm seeing digital stuff too. So it's interesting that your material world focus is about talking. So maybe you guys are working on manifestations again, like using affirmations as well to attract things. The fact that you have the Wheel of Fortune twice, it really is making me think of planning something. What it is a mystery. I think because the Wheel of Fortune has a sense of mystery, you're not entirely sure what you're going to get. But I feel like you guys are going to be like there's something that's going to be in the works. So whether it's an idea that you're kind of putting into motion in your mind, or you're actually communicating with people planning something, I feel like you guys may, maybe. Oh, and you know, I just crossed my fingers. I hardly ever, like, I don't know, I did that mindlessly. So I never really do that. So the fact that I'm crossing my fingers, right, while I'm looking at your cards, it's almost like right, because Wheel of Fortune is also chance, but crossing your fingers, you do that when you're just like, please, 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 please. You know, like you're praying, you're like hoping for like good luck or something. You're just like, please let it happen, please. So I feel like there is something in the works. There's a possibility of you guys planning either it's a trip or some kind of, what is the word? Excavation? No, that's not it. That's not it at all. But there's some kind of like you guys, there's a sense of, oh yeah, even the 3 of Wands, right? The 3 of Wands, in this case, I didn't even realize that. This person has a suitcase and they're looking at the journey ahead, right? So there is some kind of I feel like excitement and anticipation. So don't get too anxious. Don't overthink this, okay? Overthinking is the thing that pushes things further away. So don't overthink it. But it almost feels like there could be an opportunity for you guys to start planning your escape from what you're currently going through or your current environment. Like it just feels like you guys are kind of getting some kind of like I'm not seeing the result here. And I think it's because you're not supposed to know the result. It just feels like I'm seeing the excitement of anticipation and awaiting a response. And that is taking up your whole monthly focus in the material world for May section of your reading. So try to like get excited, pray, you know, put in your manifestations, but then also let it go, okay? Let it go. I'm seeing a lot of excitement for you guys in May. Okay, and then as far as what Divine would like you to focus on healing, your self-worth, you guys, is not determined by your physical body. I feel like you are really, really, really still just looking at yourself. Like maybe you have a swollen leg or something. Like you're looking at yourself and you're going, why me? But also like, I looked better before, right? Like what we were talking about, that mindset with comparison. And it's like, stop comparing yourself. Physical beauty is great, but your soul's essence, that's where your real beauty is, okay? And when your light shines, people don't see your physical body anymore. They just see a light walking by and they're attracted to it like a moth to a flame, okay? So don't think that your body is a limitation for you in regards to being attractive or bringing in a person into your life, okay? Or you guys going out and doing things because you feel insecure. If it's hard for you to take a walk, start by taking a 5-minute walk. Start by taking a chair and just sitting outside and kicking your feet a little bit. You know, there are ways to kind of overcome this physical ailment or this physical, I wanted to say liberation, but it's the opposite of that, like this physical restraint that maybe you feel, right, or restriction. Definitely you guys should be watching, or they're asking you to focus on watching more healing videos, more healing things, like maybe listen to, excuse me, I'm sorry you guys, my throat is dry. It's been dry all day so far. So give me 1 sec, let me just drink some water. Okay. I feel like it's important for you guys to watch comedy, to watch light-hearted things. I'm not talking, well, I guess if stupid kind of comedy is comedy that you guys enjoy, okay? But ideally it would be something a little more lighter, you know? To watch things that are inspiring, like maybe you want to study a language, for example, but you're having a hard time finding motivation. So like, there are so many people on YouTube now that post like study inspo videos of how they study the language or just in general study. You can watch like YouTube videos that talk about exploring your inner beauty, or that have affirmations or meditations, or that are more wholesome. You know, there's like more of a focus there's more of a guidance to focus on that. And create a little bit of a little routine for yourself. Get back into your routine, right? Into some kind of little structure in the day. So for some of you, it could be, like I've actually been using this a lot, because for me, at least in the moment, creating a skincare routine, I didn't need one, okay? Like I know some people do it because they have very intense problems. I didn't really need to do that. I would have really dry skin, so I would use oils, and that was enough because it was also cheaper. It's just one thing that I would just put an oil on my face and that's it. But at some point, I really wanted to do a skincare routine just because I don't know, I felt super guided. So I got the extra things that I never really, like I got a cleanser, a toner, you know, a serum, moisturizer, as opposed to just using an oil and that's it. And I have a couple of sheet masks. And when I started, I don't know why I wanted to do it, but I wanted to do it. It just felt like, so, I don't know, I saw it and I was like, I want to have a skincare routine. And you know what? When I do it, it just feels like a ritual of self-love for me. And I think that's why I was so guided to it. So I do use it as examples. I'm not saying you have to create a skincare routine, but maybe there is some other kind of a thing that you can do for yourself that really feels like that self-love. Like maybe you could be using a gua sha, right? Maybe it could be self-massage. Like maybe you could massage your feet for 5 minutes every day, right? Or massage your hands for 5 minutes every day. Maybe it could be you putting a warm compress on your eyes before you go to, or a cool compress, right? Like a compress on your eyes before you go to sleep, so that you feel more relaxed. Like there are a couple of different things that you could do that would be like 5 to 15 minutes. That's not necessary. It could be meditation, but I feel like it's something that would be nice in the physical, right? Because there's so much emphasis on your physical body. So something that you can do, whether it's painting your nails, you know, or like, even if you're painting your nails, it feels like if you're going to be using that, then it's not just painting it, but it's like cleaning your nails, you know, cleaning up the area around your nails, doing like a whole thing, not just like a paint and that's it. Like create a little routine with steps. And I feel like that's going to help not only bring you back into your body, but feel like you're nurturing yourself. You're giving yourself that self-love, okay? That self-care. Again, with all of this fifth house energy, the fifth house is fun, right? It's also like the inner child, and it's romantic, and it's like falling in love with life and joy. It's bigger than ever. The sun is the ruler of Leo, which is the ruler of the fifth house, right? It's like the sun energy. So go have fun, rest and rejuvenate, yes, but find the joy, find the fun. Like there's so much, again, with the laughter here, right? Showing humor, show humor. Laughter is your medicine. Like go do things that you enjoy. Don't worry too much about progress. Do the progress. Look at things to help inspire you to take slow steps. Listen, a baby step is a baby. It's a step, okay? A baby step is still a step, and that's okay. And if it took you 3 days to get to that baby step, at least you got to it. It's better than not doing it at all. Okay, so don't be too hard on yourself about that. And the fact that we have the waxing gibbous moon. The waxing gibbous moon is almost a full moon, right? So I feel like your guides are also telling you to just have a little bit more patience with yourself. And look, Libra is about beauty, right? And that, like, it's got that Venus energy. So what I was just saying with your body and that self-care routine. So that's why it feels more physical than mental. It doesn't seem like just doing a meditation. It feels more like taking care of your body. I guess in a way, because it is like taking care of your beauty, right? It helps you feel beautiful to have this little way of giving yourself self-love through a physical practice. And then with the final messages, you guys, I think they're just reminding, it's really just emphasizing the things that we've already come across here with the fifth house energy. It's like letting your creativity out and shine, and having fun and exuding that confidence. Like that self-care routine will help you with that. Resting when you need it, okay? Rest is so important, right? Because remember I was saying it's like hibernation. Well, look, we have the beginning stages of winter. That is hibernation. So there's still stuff that needs to come out of you, and that rest is going to help you to do that, okay? So let's get the final message with the dice here. Okay, we've got Capricorn, the moon, Uranus, and 2. 2 is the second house. We are in Taurus season at the moment. And I do think that for those of you, yeah. So, and then we have Capricorn. Capricorn right now for me is talking about your insecurity. Okay, so find that strength. And this is kind of like with Taurus and Capricorn, this is talking about finding a bit of a structure in your life. So that little routine can help you get motivated and excited to create other little structures in your life, like maybe tracking your spendings and all of this stuff. Then with the moon and Uranus, well, for one, I'm hearing like, don't compare yourself. You've got your own unique journey, so rest up. enjoy the rest while you can, okay? Because you're going to get active eventually and you're going to get busy. So do honor yourself, okay, you guys? Whew. All right. Well, that was your reading, group 1. I know it's a bit of an abrupt stop, but I hope you guys enjoyed. I would love to hear from you in the comments down below if it resonated. And if you did like this video, I'd appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up. And if you supported the channel by subscribing as well. You guys have got this, okay? Let me know, by the way, what you choose. I would love to know if you feel like sharing what you guys are going to choose, if you do choose, of course, to do as your little self-care routine. You know, like would you try the skincare, or are you going to try like something with the nails? Is it like a foot care? Like, are you going to soak your feet maybe and then scrub them and whatever and massage them? Or is it a whole body thing? Are you going to try the gua sha? I would love to know what you guys are like thinking of doing for yourselves, you know, or going to start doing for yourselves. And yeah, you guys have got this, okay? Just a little longer. And look, there's something to be excited about. So with this anticipation energy in the month of May, it can turn really quickly into nervousness, right? Because nervousness and excitement can kind of have a similar feeling. So just remind yourself that it's excitement and keep it focused on joy and happiness, and like do happy things, okay? To keep yourself in that happier state so you can really bring in the good vibes and all that. All right, you guys? All right, group 1, that was your reading. I hope you enjoyed. I'm sending you so much light, so much love. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye, group 1. I'll see you next time, okay? Hey, group 2. This is your group if you chose Ophiuchus. If you chose Ophiuchus with heel. I'm going to shift your card to the side here. I'm going to ring the singing bowl for you. And I just finished shuffling your cards, so here they are. And I've got to say, you guys, before we even begin your reading, y'all, the moment I cleared group 1's cards so that I can start shuffling for you guys, the song Kiss Me Softly by Journey was stuck in my head so intensely that I had this like intense urge to just listen to it. So I listened to it like 2 times while I was shuffling the whole time. I was like, I don't know why, but it was just such, well, I don't know why I keep saying, I keep saying, I don't know why, but then I go on and I explain the reason. So I gotta watch my words. But it's interesting that I'm talking about words and speech and this song, because the song, I'm telling you guys, it was so intense. This urge, this desire to listen to this song. It's like I had to listen to this song. And I sang along, of course. But not only that, I thought it was interesting, the choice of song, how intense it was. And my ears, even still, the whole time were feeling warm. Like, you know how sometimes if you're like caressed by somebody you care about very deeply, you have this warm, fuzzy feeling? And it just feels comforting and stuff, and like warm, all this. Right, I have that, except it's in my ears. This warmth, it's just like a warmth inside my ears. It's not like my actual ears, it's like inside the ears. And then I was just talking to you guys about watching what I say, right? And we have heel here, but something that I was getting from the choice of song, from how soft and gentle the ears are, right? And that warmth feeling, it's almost like, you know, just because with the song and the sensation, it's like a whisper from somebody, like a lover or a partner that you love dearly, like whispering encouraging words that make you feel confident, like you're beautiful, you're special, you know? There's this like desire, and the fact that you guys have heel, I do feel like before we even get into your cards, because another thing that I kept feeling while I was shuffling your cards and I was getting this warmth in my ears, I kept getting chills in my body. So I feel like you guys are going through some kind of a healing when it comes to sensuality and sexual intimacy and and really kind of being able to know that it's okay for you to open yourself up to the right person. Like maybe you knew that consciously, but I feel like you guys are going to be healing that in the month of May. And as I'm saying that, like my ears are just getting warmer. It's like healing around the idea of sensuality, sexuality, and deep intimacy, and having that with somebody. And I know there's more. I know there's more. Give me 1 second just to confirm something. Yeah, and it does feel like of the light, right? It feels very much of the light. It feels like divine support. So maybe some of you guys, and I feel like music, because the music was so intense, I feel like the music is also really important for you guys. So like, and what you listen to, what you're listening to, the words that you guys are hearing, what you're choosing to hear. So that seems really relevant as well. And let me see if I'm getting anything else before we actually look at your cards. Yeah, I keep hearing this song in my head, and I would recommend you guys going to listen to it, or if you're not going to listen to it, like look up the lyrics. But right now it's just the chorus, right? Because in the chorus they say, I get swept away like only lovers do, right? And that's the part that's in my head right now. That and the actual beginning of the chorus, which is kiss me softly, kiss me slowly. And then they say I get lost in you and all this stuff. Oh, but you see, I don't hear lost. I hear I get swept away like only lovers do. So I feel like that's divine saying it's, you're not, if this is definitely going to be involving some other person, it's not you losing yourself. Like it's helping you to heal the concept or the fear of losing yourself in somebody else. Because in the words, in the lyrics, that is the lyric, right? I get lost in you like only lovers do. But I keep hearing it differently in my head. And that's kind of like God stressing to you, you're not going to get lost, okay? It's okay to open yourself, get intimate, and to have these kinds of things and experiences and feelings. It's okay. You're not going to get lost. You're not going to lose yourself. It's going to be okay. So this is very much about kind of safety, right? It's the safety of being vulnerable in that kind of a sense. Because really, sharing your body and your soul and your energy with someone is the most vulnerable that you can make yourself out to be, because you're opening yourself up for people to be able to, for you to be able to give so someone can receive, and for you to be able to receive in return, right? Okay, and this feels good. It doesn't feel like a bad thing. So let's get into your cards. Well, I'll set these aside. These we'll look at later. So first we're going to be doing our energy check to see if this is your reading, because maybe you just needed to hear that beginning message, and then the rest of the reading is different. I don't know what the reading is going to look like. I don't see the cards ahead of time unless they flip over. But maybe for some of you guys also your clear audience is increasing, or you guys just, your sensitivity in general. But it feels more so like what I said in the beginning, right? With the whole hearing loving words, kind of speaking loving words to yourself, hearing loving guidance and words, hearing how somebody feels about you and how they support you in the way that they speak to you, okay, in the tone of their voice, how they're communicating to you guys. Okay, so first, the top is going to be where you guys are currently at. It's like an energy check. And then we're going to have what you have the opportunity to leave behind in the first couple of weeks of May/April. But since we're already in May, we'll just say May. All right, so we've got the Knight of Swords, the Four of Swords. That's another healing card. The Magician, the Six of Swords. This is weird. Oh, it's because it was the other. In the last group, they had the Six of Swords too, but the card was facing the other way. So this tripped me up. I'm like, this is kind of disturbing. Why is it reversed? But then I remembered it was a different deck. Sorry. Then we have the Nine of Pentacles, the Ace of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles, the Three of Pentacles. Wow. Oh, sorry. This is the Seven of Cups. I was about to be like all these pentacles, but this is actually the Seven of Cups. My bad. Or my mistake. And then the Eight of Swords. Okay, give me just 1 sec, you guys, just to see what I am seeing. Let's see. Oh, it's a little chilly. I'm a little cold. So let's start with what you're currently experiencing. I feel like you guys are at a little bit of a crossroad between trying to manifest prosperity and abundance, but also kind of like being irritated with something. So it could be your immediate environment with certain people, relatives. Maybe you kind of are in a situation where you're just kind of like, I want to get out of here. And so you're trying to create a different reality so that you can get out of there. And it's taking a little bit of time, and it involves you guys healing, but just know that it is kind of coming through. It's coming, okay? It's just coming in divine timing, okay? Oh my gosh, the song, it's still, like, I still keep hearing, it's like that song is on loop in my head, and my ears are warm. I feel like you guys are connecting to, oh my gosh. Like, I know in the beginning of the reading I said I was going to do a love reading next week, right? But maybe you guys are getting, I don't know if it's a full love reading or what, because this is like healing focus for you, but it almost feels like I'm saying, it feels like the warmth in my ears is like a sensation as if you are hearing kind, uplifting words about you and words of encouragement from somebody who loves you very dearly and on an intimate level. Okay? So but like in the 5D, it doesn't seem like it could necessarily be in the physical just yet. So I feel like maybe for those of you guys who are waiting for your ultimate soulmate or like your person, okay, you could be feeling them on some level coming through. Like you may just feel confident or like hear in your head, like maybe if you were having an insecurity, but then you're like, actually, I am beautiful, or I am handsome, or they were looking at me because I'm attractive, not because I look silly, you know? I was like, that was funny of me to think poorly of myself for a second, but that's not the case, you know, and you hear it in your own voice, but it feels like this is almost like this ethereal guide or presence of that I'm talking about that is whispering in your ear these encouraging words that's coming from a place of unconditional love. And it's almost like, yeah, and I feel a sensation here in my hand. And it's getting a little numb, which is weird. So on the left hand is the receiving hand, you know? So it's almost like this person, this guide is like holding your hand. So you guys are really getting some kind of a help or support that's coming through here. I know this is, so the current situation is you're in a place that you're trying to move on from. You're in the process of manifesting this stuff. This place kind of irritates you or puts you in defense or on edge, but you kind of catch yourself because you've already been on this journey for a while. So you know, like, you know when it's your ego speaking or thinking, you know things happen in divine timing, and you know that you're a powerful creator. You can create change, even if you get lost in the 3D thoughts for a little bit. Like you come out of it and you're like, I can change this, okay? And actively work towards it. So that's where I feel like you guys are currently at, right? It's like addressing your emotions, addressing your triggers and your responses while you're currently trying to get yourself out of the situation by manifesting something good. So all the other messages about like this other being, like, it's weird. I'm not entirely sure how to describe them, and maybe it's because it's a general reading, or maybe it's because it's not in the 3D. It's very much energetic or spiritual. For some of you guys, it could be that ultimate soulmate. For some of you guys, it could be a soul, like like a partner, a romantic partner from a previous life that isn't incarnated, or like a galactic friend or lover. I don't know. It's a little weird, but I guess the details are not important in this case, right? It's just the fact that it's there. There's somebody helping heal you and support you and loving you and cherishing you guys unconditionally. Okay, and then what you have the opportunity to leave behind in the first couple of weeks of May. Yeah, I keep hearing the same line, right? I get swept away like only lovers do. I don't know if he actually says I get swept away, or if that's like selective memory. Like it's what I wanted to hear as a replacement for the whole I get lost in you like only lovers do. So I don't know. I don't recall at the moment, but let's see what you guys are leaving behind or have the opportunity to leave behind. It's interesting how you have so many pentacles, and all of the cards apart from the Eight of Swords that you guys have here don't seem like bad cards, right? So you're like, how am I leaving this behind? But I feel like what you guys are leaving behind is like you guys are kind of getting back on track, realizing that you can change your reality. So it's like the illusion that maybe you don't, because if you look at it here, it's like this woman has her guides with this little bird, has her garden with the pentacles, but she's alone. So I feel like that's what you guys are having the opportunity to leave behind. It's like, it's more so, it's not even about what you're leaving behind, but the new reality that you're accepting, which is that you can go about doing things with other people. Romance is not a distraction. Love is not a distraction. A good, healthy love, that is. A toxic love, sure, it can be a distraction, but a healthy union, a healthy connection, a healthy love is not a distraction. If anything, it's motivation, it's inspiration, and it helps you feel like you have support, you have somebody on your corner, but also a healthy love would help you feel comfortable enough knowing that we can spend some time apart from each other and it's okay to do that for us to get what we need to get done so that we can enjoy the time that we are together. So it's like there's no codependency there. It's not like, oh, I need you like I need air. It's more like I love spending time with you, and because I love you so much, I want to make sure that everything is okay with you. So if you have to work an extra couple of hours, please work your couple of extra hours. I'll be here waiting, supporting you while you're doing that. And I'll be doing my own thing too. Like it's that kind of a thing. So it feels like that's the kind of it's like you guys are shifting. It's not even you're leaving. I guess you're leaving behind this idea that again, like what I was saying, that you're already shifting here with like that feeling of being trapped in your environment or feeling stuck. And so you're re-manifesting, right? You're getting back into manifesting or creating a different reality. So that's also being shown here. Like you're leaving behind that like momentary victim mentality that kind of came in for like a second. But also you're kind of opening up to the idea of having a connection like that. That romantic connections can be like that. Because logically kind of seeing an example and being like, oh yeah, I know it exists, and then really being able to kind of grasp the idea that it's available to you, those are two different things, So I feel like you guys are going to be kind of going about realizing that you can have that kind of a something going on. Okay, so let's look at the other cards. By the way, you guys, I may drink a lot more often during this reading than normal because I'm so, like, my throat is dry. Next, we'll be looking at your material world focus for the month of May, and then what divine would like you to focus on healing for the month of May. So for these cards, I'm going to use a little reference book because they changed the name of the suits, and I'm like, I don't remember what they're called. So we have the Nine of Corta, the Tower, the Devil. Interesting. It's interesting because you know what? I will say, during your group, when I was shuffling, the Devil did peek out, okay? And and a couple of the cards that did peek out, it seemed like dark energy, not dark energy, but like deep things, you know? And then we also have the new moon on the bottom here. And when I saw this, so remember how I was talking about your connection to like intimacy and stuff? Ooh, my ears started getting warm again. Yeah, and I got chills all down my back. So I feel like this is talking, like with the fact that it's a new moon, the new moon is like dark, right? You have the Devil card here, the Devil card came up over there. And even for a moment that, and I don't normally think this way, right? Because this is, I'm doing a regular reading, but this I guess kind of turned into a different kind of a reading. But when I saw that Eight of Swords, it made me think a little bit of bondage. So again, like remember that message I gave in the beginning with like healing the idea of intimacy and like about your sensuality and sexuality, like the connection that you have to. I feel like that is a focus for you guys in May. And let me look up what this, but actually let me just finish laying out the cards first. So we also have the Fool. So that's what I feel like that Devil energy is, by the way. I think it's more sexual than like dark, you know? Then we have Autumn. That's so funny because in this, I also I noticed Autumn from this deck for you guys. So I'll read what it says here. It says, a time for letting go, lightening your load. Lightening your load, yeah. Five of Cups. Oh my goodness, even, I'm telling you guys, I promise when I do readings, it's not usually like this, but everything seems to have an innuendo. So when I saw, was it a time for letting go and then lighten your load, you know, there's an innuendo there. Like everything seems to be, like even the Tower is giving off a very innuendo-y vibe right now. So this is very interesting because of all the other somebody's coming through for you, you know, in some way, shape, or form, okay? So, I mean, look, like literally everything, I'll read them regularly, but just know that if you're seeing an innuendo there, it's probably really coming through in my head in the reading too, okay? But, okay, so we've got deep listening with a number 5 that looks like a V. I invite you to inner silence where the world resounds. Resounds? But it's interesting they're talking about silence. We've been talking a lot about things to do with the ears. And yeah. Gratitude. Feel how life showers you with blessings. Give thanks. Oh my goodness, I'm hearing that song again. Kiss Me Softly. I'm not going to actually sing it because I don't know what YouTube's copyright stuff is. So, but yes, I'm hearing it. Then we have personal power. I encourage you to be the master of your destiny. My ears, man, they're burning up, especially my left ear now. Spirit of water, return to the source of the feminine for purification. And this is giving me very much sacral chakra vibes, which sacral chakra is also associated with sensuality. And like our libido, right? Our sex drive, but also guilt and emotional trauma gets stuck there too. and like self-worth kind of is there as well, right? How you feel about yourself. The sacral chakra and the root chakra also have some parallels. So people only think about the sacral chakra when they think of sex. But actually the root chakra is more about the act of sex, like primal sex. And both root and sacral chakra hold sexual trauma. And then the sacral chakra is more like intimate, pleasure-based kind of sexual energy. Where again, like the root is more primal. It's more urge, desire, need to procreate. And then we have bison totem with life is shower. Why is there so much showering? Where is that? Where else did I see? Oh, feel how life showers you with blessings. Give thanks. This one says life is showering you with its abundance. So 2 cards indicating the same thing, but at the same, like, oh my goodness, I just saw I haven't been really looking at the pictures, but you guys, okay, I have to talk about these pictures, but give me 1 second. Let me just finish laying out the cards. And look at this. What on earth? All of these horns. And like these are lobster things, but you know, they're kind of like horns. Look at that. What the heck? Okay. Then we have Chiron, which talk about healing, right? Scorpio, and then Eris. Okay, remember I was talking about like the darkness, the dark things, right? With the new moon here, and then Eris is actually kind of like this dark gray. And then we have spring, this is the end of spring, the end of summer, and the 11th house. You guys, there is a lot to unpack for your reading. Your reading is not a regular healing focus reading. Let's just put it that way, because there's something else coming through here. Give me 1 second, because I'm having a couple of something is kind of making me feel a little uneasy, and I want to make sure that it's not I want to make sure before I talk about it. Okay, give me 1 second. Show me yes. Show me no. Okay. Sorry guys, I just need to confirm a couple of things before, because if I just go out and say what I say, I don't want to possibly cause any negative thoughts for anyone if it's not needed, you know. Okay. Yeah, okay. That's why I was feeling uneasy, because you know what? Remember how I said like the devil card here is not coming through as like dark stuff, but it is coming through very much with the sexual energy. So remember how I was talking about like almost like a lover kind of energy, caressing you, giving you words of encouragement. So that's there, okay? But I also feel like, remember how we talked about healing like that, your sensual energy and your association with sensuality and sexual energy and sex in general and all this stuff, right? We talked about that, I think. We addressed it a little bit. but it also feels like, because something about this card, especially, I'm not saying it's a bad card and that it can always be read like that, but what I'm being given attention to certain features on these cards, okay? And the horns, sometimes horns just mean horny, okay? If you're interpreting it like how some people say, right? But sometimes it means something else. So I do feel like there is a bit of a darker energy that is trying, because you guys have a pure soul, okay? And I think because of your insecurities around, or not insecurities, but the way that you guys have been feeling about like sex and that like kind of intimacy with someone, that maybe you guys have not had a lot of it, if ever at all. So I do feel like there's still this purity about you. And so it seems like there could be a darker energy, not an actual person, but the energy itself, that also, let's just say, tempts people through those kinds of desires, okay? So I'm not saying this to scare you. I'm saying this to give you the heads up and to let you know you're okay, all right? But I feel like this energy could also be coming through, and it's tied to your fear that has to do with, maybe it's genuinely like your sexuality or your sensuality or the act of actual sex, like whatever fear there is associated with it, this like darker energy is there associated with it, okay? So just know, fear is a frequency, it's an energy. Just like this dark energy, that's what it is, right? The dark feeds off of fear. So the best way to address that is to focus on light. You are a powerful creator. Remember, you had the Magician card earlier. So you are a powerful creator. Your focus is what you create. So just like dark being, or like darker people, or like or energies utilize, like for example, right, the swastika in World War II, people look at it now and they see, at least in the Western world, and they see a symbol of the Holocaust. They see a symbol of death, of prejudice, and all this stuff. But originally, it was a symbol of peace. Okay? It was something of the light that they took, that like the dark took, and tried to convert it to darkness. And now people have, because thought is power, right? And if people are fueling something with a certain thought, they're infusing that energy and they're giving it that power. So if somebody says, this is an example, obviously don't go touch fire and do the other stuff, but if somebody says like, oh, okay, let's say this, like a table, a purple table. A purple table means, what's it called? Or no, let's use the mirror. Let's use already something that exists. So when people talk about breaking a mirror, right? They say, oh, you break a mirror, you get bad luck for 7 years. So somebody said that and then told somebody else. And then because somebody is just randomly saying that, you're like, oh, this is true? Because people have this instinct to kind of believe what they hear, you know, most of the time. Like, really? You know? So, and then you start passing that amongst a lot of people. So now you have a mass of people thinking that when a mirror breaks, there's 7 years of bad luck. And because so many people are thinking about that, they have now empowered that belief to be the truth for them, right? So if a mirror did break, they're like, oh my goodness, 7 years of that kind of luck. You know what I mean? Whereas before, it would have just been something that just happened. Like a superstition, right? So it feels like the same way here. You can convert that. Anytime you start to feel kind of anxious, or the sensual energy feels so overwhelming that you can't control yourself, or something doesn't feel right, you know, you're just like, is this normal or something like that? Just whenever you start feeling that, bring it to the light. Okay, so, and what I mean by that is like focus on, so start affirming things while you're in that state, right? Because that actually is a powerful state of manifesting, right? Because people create through that. There's even a whole terminologies about it, and they talk about sacred secretion and all of this stuff. So when you're in that state, if you are starting to feel worry, fear, or doubt, or you're like, is this too much? I don't know. Or like the thoughts get really, really dark or whatever, start shifting it to what is it that you want to manifest when you are done, right? So I am the positive abundance and prosperity of God. I am the unconditional love of God. Like, what is it that you wish to embody? What is it that you want to attract? Start affirming that while you're experiencing all of this, like, and like the sensual stuff and whatever. And if you're, I'm sorry, I'm a little uncomfortable talking about this on video for whoever is seeing. So I'm sorry, but I'm saying what I've got to say, right? So I'm also very conscious of the fact that I have some family that watches these readings. It's different when you talk one-on-one with someone and you give a reading like this, but like knowing that anyone can just watch this. But if you're helping yourself, okay, like focus on those things instead. Bring that in. And you'll start to see that energy will shift almost immediately with those thoughts. And like if you focus on what you're attracting, it's like and this is you converting that, like taking back your power, so that like darker thing has no control over you, that those fears don't have control over you in that state anymore. It's gonna take some practice, okay, but this is you like fully unlocking yourself by doing that, okay? Because this, like I'm saying again, the fears will have no power when you shift what your intention is while you're doing it. Okay? So if you just continue to focus on that intention, you're like, this is what I'm going to be manifesting in. This is what I'm going to be attracting in. And so like when you're about to have your, what was the word they used? Your shower or whatever. My God, this is so okay. That's where you like focus on those things, like, oh, I'm powerful, I'm this, whatever it is that you want to attract. I'm the prosperity, the positive prosperity and financial abundance of God. I'm the unconditional love of God, whatever it is. If you want to feel more beautiful, I am the beauty of God, you're reclaiming it for you. As opposed to that energy feeding off of your fear, you now you did an Uno reverse. You were like, ha 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 ha, no, that's not how it's working. So this is also part of the way that you'd be healing and reclaiming that. So don't be afraid. You have nothing to be afraid of. You're safe. You are protected, okay? Any kind of energy that tries to come at you through one of your most intimate ways of being has no power over you the moment you realize there's nothing to be afraid of. Okay? And if you feel like an urge come on so suddenly, so strongly, so intensely out of nowhere that you're just like, I can't sit still, you can use a pendulum, you can do like a muscle test, you can see like, is this of the light, is it not? If it's not, then you just say, stop, you don't have permission, like leave. That's it. They have to listen to your free will. They have to listen to what is allowed, what is not. So, and then when you continue to focus on the light, it's going to go away. Okay. So I'm sorry if this is scaring some of you guys. I really, really, really don't mean to be doing that. And hopefully, if you clicked on this group, you are capable of handling this kind of message, okay? Again, it's not to say that you are succumbing to anything, nothing like that, or that the dark has a rule over you or has some kind of a hold over you or power over you. It does not, okay? The most it can do is drain your energy. And it's not going to be doing that because you now have this knowledge. It'd be one thing if you had to discover it on your own, right? Then maybe you kind of have to pull back and like do a little bit of like analysis and like, oh, okay, now I know. But since you're being told ahead of time, right? You're being given this information. So now you just know what you've got to look out for. And you have nothing to be afraid of, okay? And listen, when you listen to your inner guidance, if it feels like it's something that's like genuinely encouraging you from an unconditionally loving place, then it is. But if it feels almost like a sly whisper, you know, that people say like evil can be that way, right? Then you know, like, just keep surrounding yourself in light. You're like, that's it. I'm of the light. And laugh at it. Like, ha ha ha, you have no power. You have no power. Okay, you guys have nothing to worry about. I promise you are literally going to be okay. Like, literally, you're fine. Okay, this is just to help you guys get over this hump, right? Because I feel like this has a really big effect on your ability to be open sexually and like in a healthy kind of a connection and empowerment. Really, it's about the empowerment, because our sexual energy is really, that's the Kundalini, that's life. It's tied to the Kundalini. It's tied to life force, vitality, and to creation. Okay, beyond just creating a child, but I'm talking about actual like manifestation of reality, like creation of your reality. It's all tied to there. It's a form of power. People even used it in as like a way to create back in ancient times, you know. There is a term called like sex magic. And I'm not saying go like use it in a manipulative way, but it's the same thing as just, I think I've said this in other readings before, right? Energy is just energy. It's not light, it's not dark, it's how it's used. It's the intention and the use, the way that the person who's tapping into it is using it. So it's the same thing here, okay? There's nothing wrong with sexual energy. When it's tied with fear, doubt, insecurity, and uncertainty, it taps into the darker aspects of it. And that's the part that like the world was trying to get people to be stuck in, right? Not like the planet, but the like those higher ups that control others, right? Through media, through all this other stuff. I mean, you can just tell based off of how they sexualize everything by looking. Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to be exposing everything. Well, I guess my channel is pretty small, so it's fine. But like a lot of the like industries, right? Yeah, a lot of the like music industry, acting industry, even international industries like that, right? They're overdoing it. There's what's it called? Like in K-pop, for example, that's a thing too, right? They oversex. These people are kids, okay? Fine, sometimes they get into their 30s, but they're starting out as kids. They're over-sexualizing these kids. Everything has to be sexy. Everything, when you see a food commercial, they're trying to stimulate that aspect, the primal aspect. Remember how I said the root chakra is the primal and the sacral chakra is the more like intimate, sensual, right? And then both of those also rule guilt, fear, and like the root chakra is fear, insecurity. That's when it's off balance, right? Stability, all of this stuff. So not just insecurity, but it also is security. So I feel like there's already that much energy tied around this area, right? This genre of things. because this is the best way to control people, is to inflict that fear, is to have control of the way that they create, of their power. You taking it back, that's why we're talking about all of this. To create a healthy establishment. So I feel like some of you guys could have experienced possibly some kind of, trauma or abuse regarding this area of your life. That's why there's such a deep emphasis on you reclaiming that power back. Because when you do, it's like you're going to be unstoppable, There's no need for you to be smaller than you are, to play small, to play safe. This is one of the ultimate things to overcome, and it's going to lead to you guys getting the connection that you've been looking for, that you've been wanting and desiring. When you get this deep rooted security within yourself, knowing that you can handle it, because you can handle something as silly as this, okay? And it is silly. It is silly. Anytime you start thinking that maybe it's scary, laugh at it, because it's silly, okay? Look, it even says here, oh no, that's the silence. Oh, the laughter, I guess, was in the other reading. But just laugh at it, okay? You guys are fine. So let's actually look at the cards now, though. Oh, but what I was going to say, this is interesting, right? Because with this gratitude, remember I was saying like the loving words and guidance? But yeah, you see, like there's somebody giving them that guidance, giving them that, like pouring into their mind. But yes, this is more so about you guys reclaiming yourself and what that means to you, because that's a big part of life. That area of your life is a big part of life, okay? It's one of the stepping stools. And there's fun in it and all of this stuff. So it shouldn't be something that you're afraid of or that you restrict or approach timidly, okay? So that's what Divine basically wants you to focus on, heal. I mean, that was really it. But let me see what this is again. I think that's what suit it is. That's Wands. So that's the 9 of Wands. Yeah, the 9 of Wands, traditionally speaking, there is a little bit of timidness, right? One stands out from the rest. So I feel like this is about taking a step into something that you're uncertain with, into something that is a little bit uncomfortable, that has to do with the stuff that we talked about with the Fool, right? It's a new beginning. It's like realizing it's not, your experience is not going to be the same every single time. It's not going to be scary or sad every single time, okay? Like putting an end to those old things with Autumn here, right? And then realizing that it's a new beginning. You see, this is a fun Fool card because she's got a little flamingo floaty thing. She's like ready to go to the beach, for an adventure. Look how colorful it is. And with the 5 of Cups, again, it's like putting to rest this negative association, this grief, and this will really be the way that you actually overcome any of the trauma that could be associated with that area of your life, okay? And with Chiron and Scorpio, by the way, again, that is very much touching on healing and like that area of your life, basically. Because even Scorpio, I believe Scorpio rules the genitalia, I think. Let me look that up, actually. Let me look it up. Let's see. Yeah, it rules yeah, I was right. The reproductive system, sexual organs, genitalia, blood, and bowels. Interesting. And the nose, apparently. which is very weird because, you know, that part does not exist in the same area, but you know what I mean. Okay, that's fine. So you see, it really is. So I do feel like some of you guys probably have experienced some level or form of like sexual trauma. So I do feel like it's time. This is going to be the way that you guys are overcoming it. Okay, like in May, there's going to be a great deep-seated focus on healing and overcoming it. And with spring here and summer, it really is like talking about like, look, this is you getting over it. And even the dark thing that I was talking about, like, which is just, when I said dark about these things, I just meant like how Pluto has a dark, like how Scorpio has a darker energy, how Pluto has a darker energy. Dark is in deep, right? Like getting down to the core, to the true value, to, and I just thought 2, 3, 4, right? So like you guys are doing the right thing. You're just there's nothing to worry about. You're aligned with the right steps, okay? And this is just about getting to the root of something that's been holding you back in life so that you can overcome it and then move forward with a new beginning, right? With that first house energy. Uninhibited, okay? And let me just confirm something else before I roll the dice as your final message. Sorry guys, just give me 1 second. I'm confirming a couple of things. Okay. I just wanted to touch on something else before I roll the dice for you guys as the final message. And I wanted to confirm a few things. Again, because we're talking about some sensitive topics, some things that some people may be uncomfortable with. So I want to make sure that if I'm saying it because it's genuinely coming through and not because, oh, it just came out of my mouth for a second and then like stopping that and whatever. And I'm being like, sorry guys, and leaving people with these thoughts now, like over worrying or panicking over it. So remember I was saying like the words of encouragement and like support. So that's all good, but I feel like, remember how I said like really differentiate how you feel when you're hearing things, because sometimes it will be of the light and sometimes it will be something of the more like temptation aspect. So if you feel at peace and calm and your heart is activated, you feel love in your heart area, it is of the light. If you feel it like more warmth or something in the groin area, okay, in the downstairs area, then that is more of the something else, okay, like getting you warm, okay? So sorry guys. Again, nothing to worry about. It's just this way I'm giving you some tools to help you recognize the difference. You would have recognized it on your own. It just would have taken a little longer, okay? But you clicked on this video, so I'm giving you a couple of tools that I am guided to give you that can help you recognize it right away, so that you don't have to go through the whole little process of falling for it and then like reversing it and all of this stuff, okay? Again, you're safe, you're fine, all is good. Just focus on grounding and do protect. I mean, you should be, well, not should, but I advise people to do energetic protection frequently, because I think we're living in a world right now where stuff is going on energetically constantly. So this is just a way to kind of help enforce that more for yourself. And doing energetic protection, if it helps anybody, it actually more, if it, like the person that it helps most is you, you know, and not just by protecting you from other things that you may be worried can influence you, but also, or like draining, but also it makes you feel safe and secure. You convince your subconscious mind that you're safe and secure by doing that, so that you can continue on with your day, okay? Also, if you guys feel like extreme heat to the point that it's like burning, that it doesn't feel good, like you're just like, whoa, this is so like actual, like I'm talking temperature hot, like it feels like there's a fire burning on your back or wherever you're feeling it, just know that one is not so much of the light. If it's extreme like that, or if it feels like it's really burning, okay? So again, these are tools to help you recognize, so that you can be like pointing at it and be like, okay, you can leave now, goodbye, ha ha ha, like there's no power here, you have no power here. You know what I mean? You can pull a Gandalf, you like, you shall not pass kind of a thing, you know, turn it in, say it firmly, but laugh at it too, like really, you're okay. This is just so that those energies weren't pestering or lingering around, draining you or making you feel a little drained, okay? So I'm sorry that this is the kind of style that your reading turned into. Actually, you know what? I'm not sorry, because this is something that you would have experienced regardless of whether you heard it or not. But you hearing it, if you stuck around till the end, will actually only help you. Because instead of you having to figure it out on your own and falling into something first and then having to get yourself out, this can help prevent some of the things, some of that, okay? So I guess I'm not sorry. Look at that. We have Scorpio and Chiron again. What the heck? And then we have 4 and 6. That is so funny because they're right here, Scorpio and Chiron. So extra emphasis. So again, this is, and with the 4th house and the 6th, it's making me think, honestly, this is making me think of astrology charts. So 4th and 6th house, that's the home and work environment, right? That's Cancer and Virgo energy. And then we also have Virgo here, right? So, oh, we have Virgo here and we have the 6th house here. So that's like double Virgo energy. And then we have this with the Virgo energy. So with Virgo, it's like meticulous, but they follow steps, right? And because they have Mercury as their ruling planet, like Gemini or any other air sign, Virgo can have this tendency to overthink, to overreact, to overanalyze. So again, don't overthink it, you guys. This is just information for you guys to have so that you can utilize it when it's needed. And the fact that you have Chiron and Scorpio twice is really just, and you chose heal, okay? So this is something that you kind of have got to go through in order to get out on the other side. I remember the first time when I started doing like this kind of stuff professionally, like literally 3 days before that decision was made, I went on a synchronicity walk and I heard this message. When I was guided to go down the subway down to a metro station. And as I was going down the stairs, I heard this message: "Don't be afraid." And I was like, I'm not afraid. Why am I, why would I be afraid? And I go down, and there was this homeless person who thought that a woman would like snuck past him or something, or like bumped into him. So he grabbed her backpack, and he was really trying to like take it off of her. I was like, oh my gosh, and then at some point he gave up. Like, I just walked past it, and like he gave up, and that was when I walked past. But it was a little scary to witness. And then on the other side of the platform, there was somebody, like some dude, just another homeless person, just peeing and on the platform. So I remember thinking like, oh, like this is uncomfortable. But I heard in my head, sometimes the journey to light, there's no way to get there like without going through the dark. Like you have to go through the dark to get to the light. And it's also the quickest way. If you try to avoid going through a dark tunnel to get to the light, you're only like prolonging the inevitable, So don't think of this as, oh, I'll push it further. Like, it's just extra emphasis on the fact that like now is the time to heal this. So it's not, again, not something to be afraid of. It's just time. It's inevitable. It's like that. That's what we're talking about here, right? Like the fact that there is like a negative or a dark energy association based off of certain fears, and like also the purity, like, being drawn to purity and whatever. So don't be afraid, because again, like I said a bazillion times now, it's part of the journey. And it's just like that message that I told you from that synchronicity walk, right? When I'm telling you, that was like the first time I really did a full synchronicity walk. And I felt like I was given the lessons of existing and like being incarnated on this life and all of this stuff. I feel like it all just came through during that walk. And so that was one of the more profound things too, was like sometimes to like on the journey of light, you've got to go through the dark. There's no other way around it. And it's the quickest way too. And if you're still stuck in the dark, that means that there's still more to go until you've seen the light, So don't worry, you're okay. Okay, there you go. All right, group 2. I think you guys have the longest message of all of the groups, but I think it's just because there was so much stuff that we needed to, I felt I needed to kind of clarify to you, because the last thing I want is for anyone to feel like they need to leave a reading with fear. Okay, there's nothing to be afraid of. You're completely fine. You're safe. You're good. You're okay. All right, I'm just letting you know about some discomforts that exist, and giving you tools on how you can basically reclaim your power and overcome these things that exist. And like not talking about them would be a disservice, because not talking about them doesn't mean that they no longer exist, It's just you'll find out they exist the hard way. So that's it. Okay, let's ring the singing bowl one more time for you guys, just to clear that. Bring it back to light, okay? Whew. All right, group 2, that was your reading. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. Let me, to see how you guys are feeling, like do a little bit of a check-in, Is this something that you were already aware of? All of this stuff, like, you guys are good, you're safe. Trust me, okay? So if you feel comfortable talking about stuff in the comments, go for it. Just know they can't do anything, like this kind of an energy can't do anything to you apart from making you feel sensations, okay? And when people feel sensations, that's when they feel scared, because they're feeling something, but it's like, you're fine. You can literally make that stop by saying, stop, you are not welcome here, get out. Like, that's it. And say it harshly, strongly, powerfully, loudly. Like, you are not welcome, get out, stop. This is against my free will. That's it. So you guys are good. You're good. All right, group 2. That was a bit intense. But you've got this, okay? I'm sending you guys so much love. I'm sending you guys lots of light. May you feel safe and secure because you are safe and secure. Okay? And I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll see you guys next time. All right? You guys are good. Don't worry about it. Everything is fine. You've got this. You wouldn't be hearing this message if you weren't strong enough to be able to be in this phase in your life. It's time to overcome it, okay? This is like one of the last final tests before you can really get in the miracle blessing that you guys are trying to create for yourself, okay? All right. Bye, group 2. Hey, group 3, this is your group if you chose Scutum with safety. Okay, I'm gonna ring the singing bowl for you guys. I just finished shuffling your cards, and I'm not gonna lie, I think a couple of you guys could be here. I was gonna say from group 3, but this is group 3. From group 2, don't watch that group unless you feel guided to, okay? But if you feel guided to, then there's messages in there for you. It was a heavy group. But thankfully, we've cleared some of that stuff. So, all right, you guys, let's get right into your reading. I'm in a little bit of a time crunch now, so we'll see how quickly I can get the message out to you. So first, we're going to be looking at where you're currently at, and then what you have the opportunity to leave behind in the first couple of weeks of May. Normally it's in like the previous month, but since this is being posted a bit late, it is in May. So let's start with that. Okay, we've got the 5 of Pentacles, and this is also a good energy check as well to see like if this is your group or not, if it resonates, the where you're currently at part, right? So then we've got Justice, the Hierophant. I'm not gonna lie, for a second, I was like, the same card? How is there 2 of the same card? But then I realized like, oh, it's not. We have the 5 of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, the 7 of Swords, the Star, and the 4 of Pentacles. All right, we'll get into the other cards afterwards. Give me just a moment to figure it out. There's a lot of energy there's a lot of air, like mental energy present, I'm seeing here. All right, so where you guys currently are at. I feel like with you guys, there is a little bit of a hardship or difficulty. It seems like you guys are trying to kind of connect to source, but maybe you are currently recovering from fears, doubts, anxieties, stress. Like maybe you guys have been engaging in negative content a little bit too much, possibly. So like watching dramas, watching the news a lot, or something. It feels like media, you know, so like consuming media, or like watching a lot of conspiracy things, or watching a lot of you know, things along those lines, things that create like that take you away from a place of unconditional love and are more like skepticism and like darker theories and darker things and stuff like that, or things that induce panic or anxiety or worry or frustration, you know, or just like, you see, like that. So I feel like you guys are kind of stepping away from that. You're moving into connecting back to like divine, but I feel like there's still a lot of mental energy with you guys, like mental focus, you know, like your mind is really active, okay? And I think it's like kind of wired up from those things. And there's like when you kind of start feeding that, it turns into the cycle where you want to keep consuming and consuming, you know. And if, for example, you watch things on YouTube, the YouTube algorithm is going to be like, oh, you like this? We'll give you more of it. And so then it's almost like the temptation to not bite into continuing watching that kind of stuff. That's what I feel like you guys are currently overcoming, you know? It's like you guys are trying to drop this so that you can reclaim your mind and your mind's inner peace. And then what you guys have the opportunity to leave behind in the month of, or the first couple of weeks of May, I guess. Oh, isn't that from Cinderella? A dream is a wish your heart makes. Yeah. Interesting that the star is here, and that was a song that came to mind. And the star is hope, and that song is about making like wishing and hopes, right? I feel like the thing that you guys are leaving behind, though, or have the opportunity to leave behind, is the concept of escapism. It's like getting past the illusion or delusion. I think it's the same reason why maybe you guys got really into watching those other things that talk about like those, like, we'll just say the conspiracy stuff, for example, okay? Even if there's truth to it, it's like still feeding that like, yeah, like that's the kind of energy that you can get from conspiracy stuff, or looking into what's really going on in the world and like the certain dark things that are happening. It's like it becomes like I need, like, it's like that, like antsy, like, oh, there's more, and oh wait, but there's more. It's kind of like that kind of energy, and I feel like it's you guys were feeding into that, and so you have the opportunity to really step away from that and move on from that. And also the fact that Cinderella came on, it's like, in addition to that, there may have been like some kind of an illusion or delusion or a fantasy world that you guys are stepping away from too, because it seems like you got lost in the idea of being in a fantasy world, maybe because it was reminiscent of your childhood or it was interesting, and it's like distracted you from really living your life. So it almost feels like you guys are reclaiming your life by stepping away from this like media consumption and like this stuff that the media is feeding or encouraging you to feed that isn't really super alignment, like in alignment with like your inner peace and stuff, you know? Okay. Now let's move into the next phase of the reading. I know that was quick, but like I said, I am trying to get your messages out a little quicker because the last group really needed to hear their message as detailed as possible, just so that they feel okay. And it took a lot more time, and I had a certain time frame. Unfortunately, where I currently live, there is a time frame of where I can finish things. So let's move on. So next, we're going to be looking at your material world focuses for the month of May, and then your what Divine would like you to focus on healing in the month of May. Okay, so we've got Queen of Lunga. I think this is the, I have to, so for this deck, I'm going to be looking up the suits because they changed them. The Magician and the Six of Ripiena. This one I know is the Six of Cups. But Lunga, I think Lunga is, it's either swords or wands, but I gotta look it up. Oh, and yeah, I got an extra one. You have the Sun, the Five of Wands, the Four of Wands, the High Priestess. You have the Art of Rituals, number 33. Practice rituals to re-enchant your life. Empowerment, number 35. Assert yourself and shine your power now. Embrace, number 10. Remember your primordial nature. You are a vessel. Then we have the 9th house. Waning crescent moon. The 2nd house. The ascendant. And we have the beginning of spring, the 12th house, and the earth. Let me just look up what this is really quickly before we get into your reading. Lunga. This is the guidebook, by the way. If you can call it Lunga. Lunga, mind. Yes, it was given sword energy with how cold she kind of looks and how short her hair was. Her haircut, the style of it. So yes, that's the Queen of Swords. Okay. So we've got the Queen of Swords, the Magician, the Six of Cups, the Sun. Give me one sec just to see what I see. Okay. All right. The material world focus. Yeah, okay. So material world focus. So we've got the High Priestess, the Queen of Swords, right? That's the mind. The Sun, the Magician, that's a manifester, powerful being, and the Six of Cups, right here, as well as the Five of Wands and the Four of Wands. I feel like you guys there's a lot of focus on reclaiming your mind. Like what I was saying, you guys have the opportunity to leave behind. So with the Six of Cups, even it almost feels like you guys are coming back to like a more unconditionally loving place. You know, coming back to like coming from a place of unconditional love, as opposed to, because there's just unfortunately, and don't get me wrong, it's not like I never get caught up in conspiracy theories and stuff, but there's a certain anxious or panicky energy that surrounds people who are in it too deep. Okay. And I feel like you guys, so this is you like coming back to that state of like love, you know, that inner peace. You guys are reclaiming your mind with the Magician here and the Queen of Swords. It's like you're sorting out your mind. You're kind of taking it all back. Your thoughts, differentiating your thoughts, your reality, your existence, and this fantasy portrayed, or this fantasy world that has been portrayed by media, whether through excess shows or, like I said, the conspiracy theories or other stuff that you've been consuming, like the media you've been consuming. And with the Six of Cups and the Sun, it's like you're coming back to that joy, that happiness that you were feeling before kind of getting a little sucked into this other stuff. And with the High Priestess, again, it's like talking about that discernment, right? Coming back to your knowledge, your wisdom, your inner truth. With the Five of Wands, and the Four of Wands is also talking about that too. It's like that harmony. The Five of Wands, again, is talking about releasing that like conflict. So it's that mental conflict, which again feels like a lot of, like it's not just yours, you know? Like it really does feel like an influence from whatever you've been consuming media-wise. So if it is the news for you guys, then like taking a break from the news and, you know, stuff like that. Great, guys. Sorry for the pauses. I'm just drinking water because my throat be dry. For some reason, it's pretty dry today. All right, now what Divine wants you to focus on healing while you're doing this wonderful work for yourself in the material world, right? Releasing that. Because really, like you engaging in this, it looks like it's causing a lot of conflict for you and like triggering your ego and all this stuff. But yes, what you guys, what Divine wants you to focus on releasing. Or healing, sorry, not releasing, but healing. Can I be honest with you guys? This is the only group I'm doing this for so far, but I don't like these cards. I don't like these cards. I'm not going to include them in your reading. The concept of the cards is not bad, but in lieu of what we were just talking about, with the whole like engaging in something that if you get a little bit of information, it's not too bad, but it's not something that feeds your soul in the right way. Those cards are not, I don't know, it's my first time using that deck, and those don't feel good. So I feel like this is, if anything, also talking about the fact that we're like your healing focus is eliminating the things that don't make you feel good after you have heard or witnessed it, you know? I feel like that's kind of the running theme of this video, because it seems like each group there seems to be, I guess it's a collective thing, right? Each group there seems to be like a focus on do what makes you feel good and like in a state of unconditional love, not feeding panic and or like how, for example, right, they're talking, like there are people talking about how like the value of money is going down in certain countries, or how food shortage and all of this other stuff, like to instill panic. So that's why it's like, just cut out that stuff. Like, you're okay, you're fine, and bring it back to just finding joy in life and enjoying what flowers look like and what the sun looks like, if enjoying the sun's warmth or a cool breeze, or like those kinds of simple things. And divine would also like you to focus on healing that sense of connection, because really you've got the second house, which is making me think of your physical body with that Taurus energy, and the ninth house, which is like a spiritual connection, almost like religious connection in a way, to like God and stuff. But it just feels like connection, right? Exploration with Sagittarius, like taking walks. So it feels like the healing focus here, it seems like they're asking you to kind of ground yourself and just enjoy being in the present, in the moment, not in that fantasy land, not in the media-induced panicky kind of wound up state. But like even the ascendant, it's the first house, right? The ascendant is the first house. It is the present. It is right here, right now. So I feel like there's just emphasis on, for these final stages of the moon before the next moon, sign or something. It's kind of like, yes, cut out what no longer serves. And with the 12th house and the beginning of spring and the earth, the earth is here. Yes, the earth, again, talking about grounding. And the 12th house also has deep spiritual, and like the beginning of spring, it's like the beginnings, endings and beginnings here, right? And with the waning crescent moon, you're getting closer to a new moon. So you're getting closer to a new beginning. So I guess they're kind of like saying, we want you to clear out, we would like for you to clear out all this extra stuff and emotion that was fed, that wasn't even initially maybe there was a little bit within you that kind of became intrigued, so they're like, we want you to clear that out, okay? That no longer serves you, into this new step that you're taking, this new phase that's coming, okay? There's no room for all this extra anxious stuff. Like, leave that behind. Enter with just a calm mind and heart full of love, okay? Let's get your final message here. We've got the 3-14, which is Temperance, Aquarius, and the North Node. Yeah, you see the North Node, it's making me think of purpose and mission. The fact that you have Aquarius is also talking about change, but it also talks about the internet, right? Because Aquarius is kind of aligned with technology and social media. Social media is totally, Aquarius gives off total social media vibes. So again, it's kind of like, and Temperance is like balance, right? It's healing, it's balance, and it's got that Sagittarius energy that we were mentioning here with the 9th house. So it almost feels like bringing into balance this basic, it actually just really feels like we're kind of repeating the same message here. And with the number 3, this is making me think of the Empress. And with the Empress here, it's really just about, again, the Empress is Taurus energy. We have the second house here, right? And, well, she's actually Venus energy, but she's Taurus and Libra. I suppose you can have both, but there seems to be a little bit more earthiness to her because she's just sitting there, sitting still, at peace. She's divine feminine. Divine feminine sits there and receives. Okay, it's like waiting to receive. The feminine energy is not the one that's driven and like going out there to make things happen. The feminine energy is just like, I'm here receiving the blessings. So I feel like it's kind of talking about you guys getting back into that state, okay? All right, group 3, this was your reading. I know it was quick. Like I mentioned, the time constraint. And I know it was a little weird with the whole getting rid of those cards. That was not something I expected to do, but I think it was all for the best, because the whole point is for you guys to focus on the light, right? And like things that bring you peace and make you feel grounded and secure and happy, okay? And like present in the moment, not anxious about the future or sad about the past, all this stuff. All right, you guys, that was your reading. I hope you enjoyed. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below if you have been like going down the spiral of a couple of those things, you know, because to be honest, I have too, you know, and I'm like cutting myself back as well. So, you know, I understand what you guys are going through. So I'd love to hear if that's what was going on with you guys. You know, are you reaffirming to kind of come back to you a little bit more? Now, you know, you can share in the comments. I'd appreciate if you gave this video a thumbs up and if you subscribe to the channel to help support the channel. And yeah, if you guys are interested in a personal private reading or a custom crystal bracelet or a custom affirmation song, feel free to reach out to me either through the contacts page on my website or through my email. But yeah, that was your reading group 3. I love you guys so much. Sending you lots of love, lots of light. Bye, guys. Hey group 4, welcome to your reading. This is your group if you chose Vela with Power. Let's get right into your reading, you guys. Bringing the singing bowl. I'm on a bit of a time crunch today because one of the groups needed a bit of extra time. So kind of cut into the time of everybody else. I do also want to just say that in your group and the last group, there's a deck that I'm not using because I don't know, it didn't feel right. So your reading is a little bit more unique because it's the placements are a little different, okay? So first we're going to be looking at where you're currently at to see like an energy check, and then what you have the opportunity to leave behind in the first couple of weeks of May. We have Hermit, the Hermit. Also, it could have been in April too, but you know, we're already in May. So the 9 of Wands, Temperance, the Chariot, the 10 of Cups, the 9 of Swords, the Ace of Cups, sorry, and the 2 of Cups. We'll look at these in a moment. All right, so what you guys are currently experiencing, I feel like you guys are actually currently moving away a little bit from loneliness. I think you guys are on the verge of experiencing emotions and feelings, and you kind of realize that whereas before maybe you would have felt alone or like you were handling things on your own, but now it's like chosen isolation, and like you guys are getting really close if you're not already there to actually reaching out to communicate with a friend or somebody that you feel close to or like you can actually kind of communicate about this stuff with. So I do feel like this is actually a really big mark of your progress because it's showing that you guys are no longer like you realize that you're not alone. That's a really big step, you guys, and I'm gonna applaud you because I'm really proud of you, and I feel tears in my eyes because that is such a big deal, okay? Like not feeling alone anymore or like you have no one to turn to, that is a huge deal for life, okay? And you guys are there. So I feel like you're in that place where maybe if you haven't already done so, you possibly could be reaching out to somebody soon or thinking about reaching out to someone to talk about how you've been feeling, catching up with your guides, with your friends, you know, your team members. So yeah, you guys, I'm really proud of you. It's a big deal to not feel alone. It really is. To be like single or to be separated from friends, but to not feel alone, knowing that you can reach out to your friends and all of this stuff. That's a really big deal. Or even if you're in a partnership, knowing that you can reach out to your partner, that's the thing that makes you not feel alone, you know? So you guys, I wish you could feel how incredibly touched and proud I am in regards to this for you guys, okay? So good job. Good job. You really deserve more applause, okay? All right, now what you have the opportunity to leave behind in these next couple of weeks, and then also that you could have already started leaving behind last month. It's interesting because it's all cups and then this one panic swords card, right? So the 9 of Swords is like waking up from a nightmare or like distress. It is very much distress, not being able to sleep. And then all of these other cards are happy cards. Like you've got the 2 of Cups, the 10 of Cups, the Ace of Cups. So I almost feel like you guys are releasing old patterns and old habits and old desires and wishes from like maybe that your inner child had. You know, like for example, because we were talking about the loneliness here. So maybe for a long time, you guys desired a romantic partner to feel like you actually have somebody. you know, you were looking for this ideal partner, this ideal person to kind of fulfill all of these requirements and needs for you. And I feel like you guys are in a place where maybe you could actually just be crying out of nowhere more every once in a while, and just know that that's actually part of your release. I feel like you guys are releasing this fantasy from your childhood. This fantasy, and I'm feeling tears in my eyes too as I'm saying this, because I think there was such a deep emotional rooting to it. This idea that this is how you're going to have love. This is the only way that you will feel like you have support, or this is the only way that someone will be in your corner, that you will no longer be alone. Because now that you start to realize that you really aren't alone, it's like these old childhood daydreams or fantasies of how you can have that need fulfilled, they're kind of like dying or being put to rest. And so there's a lot of crying and release from that. So I don't even think this is something that's kind of already, I feel like you guys are starting to go through that, to experience that. So this is another thing to be proud of yourself for, okay? Because this just is a sign that you guys have completely progressed in your life. The fact that it's a little sad, right? Because anything that comes to an end, even if it's a good thing, that it's ending, it still means that we're releasing a part of ourselves that was stuck there. So we kind of release something, and it still can be a little bit sad, even if you're excited for the future, you know? So I feel like you guys are shedding that. So you're in a gentle place. So be kind to yourself, okay? Be kind to yourself. Be gentle with you as you're kind of going through this. This is a real mark of progress, you guys. And thank you for being here for this reading coming up for you guys. It's a really nice way to end the reading, because one of the groups was just so much heavier, okay? But for you guys, there's this incredible progression. I'm so incredibly proud of you, and so are your guides. Congratulations, you guys, on the fact that you are moving forward. You guys are actually moving forward. All of your hard work is coming together here, okay? Okay, now let's take a look at the next top row is going to be what you're currently manifesting, or like what your material world focus will be in the month of May, and then the bottom will be what divine would like you to focus on healing. So we've got the 5 of Corta, so I have to look up, I think this is Pentacles, but I'm gonna look it up just to confirm. We have the Knight of Corta, the High Priestess, the Ace of Swords, the Page of Pentacles, the Nine of Cups. I was like, am I placing this right? The Strength card. Okay, let's move it a little closer so it's all in frame. We have Aquarius, Last Quarter Moon, First House, Leo, and Cancer. And then for final messages, we have Mercury, the 5th house, and then we have the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse. So that's interesting. Give me 1 second just to look up what suit that is. Let's see. Where is it? It's Wands. Okay. That's what I thought I thought it was Wands, but all of them look different from, I don't know. Okay. I thought it was Wands, but then I was like, but this kind of looks like it would be Pentacles, no? So, all right. Anyway, so these are Wands. So we got the 5 of Wands, the Knight of Wands, the High Priestess, Ace of Swords, Page of Pentacles, 9 of Cups, Strength. Okay. Give me 1 second just to see what I'm seeing. All right, you guys, I feel like the material world focus for you in May I don't know. I feel like you and there was one other group where there's some excitement for you guys coming in. there's some exciting energy. I feel like in May, the material focus is you guys are kind of going out more. I feel like you guys are focusing a little bit more on socializing. And again, there's that communication, right, with the Ace of Swords. So I feel like you guys are going out, you're socializing, you're finding money-friendly ways of you to have fun outside, okay? I feel like there's a little bit more emphasis on enjoyment, and because you feel like you have support, even in moments where you feel lonely or like upset, it's like in your head, you're like, but I know I'm not alone. I know I am supported. I know I have this person to turn to and this person. It's just, you know, so, oh, and I just saw 333. That's like Christ consciousness, right? That's also an ascension number. That's a master number. Okay, so the fact that you have strength here and it's like this pride of lions, I feel like there's more happiness and fulfillment for you and like going out and fun. I feel like you guys are becoming a little more fiery, you know, like you speak up. You kind of, if somebody says something that's not right, you'll be like, no, that's, or if somebody's like, well, you know, you're like that, you're like, no, I'm not, you know, like before maybe you would have stayed quiet and you're just like, there's no point in commenting, but now you guys are like, I'm not like that, ha ha ha, but whatever, let's keep talking. So like you correct it, you know. There's a little bit of ego involved in that, but that's okay because it's not harmful. You're just like correcting people and like, this is my boundary. There's more of an outspokenness and fun here. And with the strength card again, I keep seeing like, this is your team supporting you. This is your guide supporting you and you living more freely, knowing that you have the support and they're all looking at you so proud and like happy because, and you even feel them even stronger, your guides and your team, because you acknowledge that they are there supporting you and that you're not alone. You know, like it's kind of like a cause and effect, or like because you are said this, now it's this way. So because you're feeling that, it's even stronger. So it's a good thing, okay? Then we've got what Divine wants you to focus on, healing. Really with Cancer, this is more so just like continuing to nurturing yourself and like bringing, like having those emotions that we were talking about come out from your childhood. They're still coming out, right? Like you're healing those things. So it's not, you may not even be crying from sadness. It's like, you're not crying from sadness. It just feels like the emotions are just coming out and your heart could be full, or it could be from gratitude, or it could just be you feeling kind of like vulnerable, or like all the layers have been peeled off and you're just in this state of pureness, you know? And then with Leo, again, it's talking about like this fun and energy that we have going on here, where there's like more going out with the first house too, right? It's like outgoing, this fiery energy. You're like, oh, and we have the fifth house too, right? So this is also like romance and fun, inner child. So you guys are coming out and you're having fun. And Aquarius is also very social. Aquarius is literally the community, right? And social media too and stuff. But for you guys, I'm just getting like, you guys are coming out. And with Aquarius, there's a bit of rebellion. So this is the part where I was mentioning with the Five of Wands, like that defensiveness of yourself. You're like, I'm not going to tolerate people talking shit about me, even as a joke anymore. So I'm going to correct them and let them know, hey, you shouldn't be saying that, you know? But we can keep having a calm conversation. We don't have any beef between us or whatever, right? But watch your words when you talk about me. You can joke about yourself all you want, but not about me, right? So I feel like that's kind of coming through this like stronger part of you. Like there's a little bit more confidence, like because you know you have that support, right? You've got someone holding your back in case you fall back. So because of that security, there's like a little bit more stability and security. This more confident and fun part gets to come out a little more as a reward, you know? And as a result, as an actual result of feeling secure, you can be more outspoken and all this stuff. And closer to being your most authentic self. Like you're just, and again, I'm seeing fun, like going out and having some fun. Going to a park, maybe. It doesn't seem like nightclubs or anything like that. It just seems like good fun, you know, like more pure kind of a fun. Like socializing with people, yes, but not because of like in a darker scene. Like I'm seeing more in the daytime. It feels like daylight, you know. But if you are going out at night, it's like a group dinner. It's not something like like a nightclub scene. Okay, now let's get, oh, and the fact that you've got, let me roll the dice first. Final messages with the dice too, so we can look at all the final messages together. Ooh, we have, oh no, that's Pluto. Okay, we have Pluto, 10, which is the Wheel of Fortune. And the 10th house, right? We've got Pisces and the 6th house. Okay. So Mercury, again, this is talking to me about socializing, right? This social aspect, this communication, this like going out and about, and like this stimulation, like, I don't know, some kind of stimulation from other people, right? Not in a negative sense. We talked about the 5th house here with the whole fun and the Leo energy and going out, all of this stuff, and play. It's like play. With the 2 eclipses, this is a massive transformation, you guys. Like the fact that you got both eclipses, first of all, I think this is giving us a time frame, right? Because we did have a solar eclipse not too long ago, and a lunar eclipse is coming up very shortly. So I think this is a time frame. They're saying like it could be, for some of you guys, it could be between this time that this transition is so powerful. But also I feel like this in general is just talking about the fact that like you guys are, this is massive. This is massive change that has happened for you. This is a huge shift. Like, I hope you guys can acknowledge the fact that this is a huge shift for you in the most positive, great, incredible way. Okay. With Pisces, this is also the end of a cycle. And with the 6th house, it's talking about how much work you've put into your self-growth and self-development that you've gotten this far. Okay. With Pluto and with the number 10, so the Wheel of Fortune is also talking about chance and now opportunities and exciting things, like things that can just happen just because now, again, like this new sense of safety and security that you guys are really affirming within yourself by knowing that you're not alone is bringing in so many incredible things to you guys that you just, all you have to do is have your arms open and be like, I'm ready to receive, God, thank you. Okay. And yeah. And with Pluto, this is also like Scorpio is death and rebirth. Pluto is deep transformation, right? And because Pluto is very deep, it's one of the deepest planets, astrologically speaking, right? And like it goes deep into the subconscious, into all of this stuff, and it causes drastic, rapid transformation. And that's what you guys are going through. That's what these 2 eclipses, you got both eclipses. So again, time frame, but also like this is incredible. I hope you can acknowledge how incredible, life-changing this transformation is for you guys, because it is. You know, this is a huge shift. You finally are going on in your life feeling you're not completely alone. It's incredible. Okay. I'm so proud of you, Group 4. It was a pleasure doing your reading. Thank you so much for such a lovely reading and ending note, you know. I'm so grateful for you guys. I love you so much. And if you guys enjoyed this reading, I would appreciate if you gave it a thumbs up. Also, if you subscribe to the channel to support the channel. And if you guys feel like sharing, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments as well. I love hearing from you guys. So thank you if you do feel like sharing. And if you guys are interested in a personal private reading or a custom crystal bracelet or a custom affirmation song, you can reach out to me either through the contacts page on my website or through my email, which are all listed in the description box below. But that's it for now. So shall we say ta-ta for now, my dear friends? Or there was, oh man, you know that saying, it's like later gator in a while crocodile. I came up with one not too long ago, and I was like, I want to make it trend, but I don't remember what it was. Oh man, that's a little sad. I was so excited about it. Now I don't recall it. I guess it's not important. Oh well, but yes. All right, Group 4. I love you guys so much. I'm sending you so much love and so much light. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And yeah, you guys are doing great. Absolutely incredible. Okay. All right. Love you guys. Bye, Group 4.